President Donald Trump has dismissed the growing chorus of CEOs, investors, and policymakers who are pleading with the White House for greater clarity about his sweeping tariff agenda. They always say that we want clarity, Trump said in a Fox News interview that aired Sunday. They have plenty of clarity, the president told Sunday Morning Features host Maria Bartiromo. Appeals to the White House from the business community to provide more concrete guidance, Trump said, are little more than talking points. They just use that like it's a soundbite, he said. Pressed by Bartiromo on whether there would be clarity for the business community, Trump's reply was telling. I think so, but the tariffs could go up as time goes by, and they may go up, and I don't know if it's predictability. Bartiromo interrupted him and said that's not clarity. Hours after the full interview aired, the start of a new week of tariff-fueled fears and heightened economic uncertainty sent futures lower Sunday evening. Stocks were set to tumble further when the markets opened Monday. Futures tied to the Dow Jones Industrial Average were down nearly 500 points, or 1.2% on Monday morning, while the S&P 500 futures fell 1.4%. The Nasdaq 100 futures dropped 1.6%. The comments capped off a week marked by unpredictability by the Trump's tariffs and the broader strength of the U.S. economy. The S&P 500 fell 3.1% for its worst weekly mark since September. The Dow Jones fell 2.37%, while the Nasdaq shed 3.45% for the week. At the center of the storm were Trump's stiff 25% tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico, which were initially paused for a month, then restarted on Tuesday, only to be reined in on Wednesday, and then partially paused for another month on Thursday. Meanwhile, Trump and multiple officials in his administration warned that Americans could be in store for some economic strain, including higher prices. They insisted any adverse impacts will only be temporary. We can only hope. Confusion surrounding Trump's constantly shifting trade plans has left investors uncertain about what's coming next. While Trump has downplayed the impact of his unpredictable trade policies on domestic markets, Wall Street analysts have not. We still have no clarity on the economy moving forward with the Trump turmoil, wrote Brian Anderson, head of fixed income at Laffer Tengler Investments. The longer we have chaos and turmoil from Trump, the higher the probability that we will eventually have data trend negative, he wrote in a Friday note. The White House did not respond to a request for comment on Trump's latest remarks about his tariffs, or about the widespread confusion surrounding his agenda. The coming week promises plenty of new economic data to test the competing theories. Due out Monday is the New York Fed survey of consumer expectations, followed by Wednesday's release of February's Consumer Price Index. Thursday, we'll see a set of producer price data before finishing the week with a University of Michigan consumer sentiment reading on Friday. Now, as the Trump administration embarks on a month-long reassessment of America's trade relationships around the world, the negative impacts of uncertainty felt over the past few weeks could be magnified. Markets fear uncertainty more than they fear bad news, wrote Mark Malik, Chief Investment Officer at Cybert Financial. 25% tariffs are easier to price in than a maybe 10, maybe more, maybe less. It's not just companies and investors who need greater clarity before they make major decisions. The Federal Reserve needs greater clarity too. Chairman Jerome Powell on Friday said that the central bank is well positioned to wait for greater clarity while the Trump administration implements significant policy changes in 4 distinct areas: trade, immigration, fiscal policy, and regulation. Speaking at the U.S. Monetary Policy Forum, Powell said it would be the net effect of these policy changes that will matter for the economy and the path of monetary policy. For now, he said, uncertainty around the changes and their likely effects remains high. So even Jerome Powell is saying he's created a lot of uncertainty in the market. The Fed, like so many others, is focused on separating the signal from the noise as the outlook evolves, he says. So even the Federal Reserve just has to wait for this chaos to sort of play out. So they can't even make a decision because they don't know what Trump might do. He might put on the tariffs and then might take them off. These are real numbers. These aren't this isn't fake stuff. So they have to. The interest rates are like the oil that lubricates the market, and you have to have the right amount, or else things won't work right. So When Trump's keep going tinkering with things, constantly, you can't do that. You can't do that. Everything has to be somewhat predictable. Markets like predictability. They don't like extreme volatility in interest rates. They don't like extreme volatility in uh, tax policies. They don't like extreme wars. Anything extreme is going to hurt markets, or hurts flows of market.